Hey there, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate.
And today we're taking a look at Deck the Halls by Abbanuach Games, who were kind enough to sponsor this video.
In Deck the Halls, you are going to be playing as a family who has somehow forgotten to decorate their house for Christmas. And it is about 30 hours away from being midnight Christmas. And you want to make sure to decorate everything inside and outside of the house before midnight Christmas. And so you're going to be cooperating, working together, having special player powers, rolling dice, all sorts of things going on in this game. It's a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and take a look at it down below, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on this one. All right, so here's Deck the Halls. I'm going to show you guys what the components look like and how the gameplay works in this Christmas cooperative game. Everything you see in this segment of the video is the final product. This is not a prototype, so this is what you will be receiving when you back the Kickstarter, which I do want to go ahead and let you know. Go ahead and check out the Kickstarter campaign link down below after you watch this video. But in this game, you are going to be playing as this family who has, for whatever reason, decided not to decorate their house for Christmas until the very last minute. And they are going to have to decorate the entire house. And this is a very big board, as you can see here. It's hard to get it all on frame. But you need to decorate each and every single one of these locations with all of the different items that you see over here on this side of the board before Christmas, midnight Christmas. We start at December 23rd, 4 p.m., and every turn this is going to advance 1 hour forward, so you can see how many turns you are going to get before the end of the game. Now in this game you are going to receive meeples, and these are some chunky meeples here that are very thick, and they are double-sided, so you've got the back sticker here that goes on the back of the meeples, which is very nice. And you have player boards, and these player boards are going to show you that each character has a special power, such as Muscle Mike. He can pick up 5 decorations, that's what these 5 spaces are here, instead of the normal 3. The Organized Mom can drop off decorations at a location without having to use an action to do so. Seasoned Grandma, because she has been through so many Christmases, she can take a free decking action once per location throughout her entire turn. That's very nice to have. Fix-It Dad, he's the handyman. He can go around and fix items that end up in the trash, which we'll talk about how that happens. And he can also, as a free action, move things in the boxes back so that he keeps things from going into the trash. We'll cover that here in a second as well. Crazy Kim can move 2 spaces each time she moves. And Helpful Sally is able to take extra actions if she's ever in the same space as another player at the beginning of her turn. And so you're going to pick your team, and everyone will start here on the couch. And at the beginning of a turn, you are going to roll these dice. And on these dice, you're going to see the different items that you are needing to put out throughout the house, such as ornaments or lights, figurines, the greenery, and hardware is another thing that you'll have to do. Now, on some of these dice, you're also going to find distractions. And so for every one of these, you will draw a distraction card, which is going to have some negative aspect. Something bad is going to happen to you. And there are 2 distraction tokens or icons on all the dice. So it's not a high probability, but it can happen. And on one side of one die, you are going to see the presence, which is going to give you a cheer card, which is like the opposite of a distraction card. So that's a nice thing that you want to try to get. And there is also a random. And so when you get the random one, you can pick which token you are going to want to put. Now, whatever you roll, you put out here in box 1. And so, for instance, let's go ahead and roll the dice to give you an example here. We would put 2 ornaments, a figurine, and 2 stockings in box 1. And now you can see here that the piles of tokens are not created equally. There are some that have many more tokens in them than others. And when a pile runs out, that's all there is to it. So you'll place those tokens here in box 1. And what you are trying to do is you're trying to make sure to get to each one of these locations that has some spots here to place tokens in them. You've got some inside the house, And you've got some that are outside the house, such as this little bush right here that needs lights. These reindeer, the window right here needs some lights on them. And there's one back here as well. And now each spot requires a different type of token. And you'll see right here what those tokens are. The gray, clearish color ones are hardware. Red is stocking, so on and so forth. So for instance, this door right here is going to need one hardware, a greenery, and an ornament, as you can see right there. And so what I would have to do if I'm going to want to do that, I can take actions to move across these lines between stars. And when you're at a place that has items to pick up, you can use an action to pick up the items from that box. So let's say, for instance, that we've got some ornaments and some hardware, and let's have there be a greenery token. And so I could pick up these items if I'm the dad here, and I place them on my player board. My player board's got these three spots right here that I could place them on, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I could come to this location. And in order to deck things, I have to have everything out of my hands. So I have to drop it into this drop box first. And there's a drop box at every single one of the locations where you need to decorate. And then I have to take separate actions to deck each different type of item. And I have to do this in order, the order of decking. Lowest number to highest number. So the first one would have to be the hardware. I would have to take an action to deck. Then I would have to take an action to put the greenery. And I would have to take another action to do the ornaments. And this makes sense thematically because I have to put a nail in the door before I can put the wreath on it. And then I can put the ornaments on the wreath. But I can't put ornaments on the nail when there's no wreath. That all makes sense. So I have to do it in that order. And you will be doing this as a team, cooperating, working back and forth, trying to manage all the different locations. At the end of a turn, anything that's left in box 1 is going to push down here to box 2, so on and so forth. Box 2 will push to box 3, box 3 will push to box 4. Anything left in box 4 at the end of a turn is going to go in the trash. Thematically, what we've said is those lights, those ornaments, we no longer want those. That's old news. We're going to get different decorations this year, and so it goes into the trash. And so one way you can lose this game is if you run out of certain types of tokens before you fill up all of the slots in the house. You will lose the game that way. You will advance the time 1 space at the end of your turn, and you just need to decorate the entire house before it gets to midnight on Christmas morning. And that is how you play Deck the Halls. Let's go back up top, share our thoughts on this one.
All right, we're back. And now we're going to share our thoughts on Deck the Halls. And real quick, we do want to also point out you can check out our playthrough video by clicking the I in the top right corner. And that'll take you to that video where you can see how this game plays in action. But right now we're going to share our thoughts on this. Sam, initial impressions, what did you think of Deck the Halls?
Initially, when you say we're going to play a Christmas game, I thought it was a preschool game. I thought it was something that we would be playing to review with the kids, which our kids did play.
Right.
And, you know, you're setting up the board. It looks pretty simple. Mm-hmm. And then you get the concept. And you're like, oh, this is going to be too easy. But then you get into it, and it really is. It's not easy. No. And it was actually, it was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. Playing the different members of the family, really, there is a lot of strategy, but it's fun because it is cooperative. So you all kind of figure, okay, I can do this. So you need to do this first. So I can do this. Right. And it's a really enjoyable strategy game.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. I'm glad you brought that up because for me, the number one most enjoyable experience in cooperative gaming is when the game works in a manner that what I do has to be based off of what you've done on your turn and vice versa.
I think it prevents one person from quarterbacking the game because they can't just take over because it's going to affect everybody else.
Yeah, and it's that puzzle element of figuring out how do all the players' characters interact with one another in order to be successful. This game has this in spades, and and I totally agree with Sam here in that you look at it on the surface and it looks like, okay, we're just going to be decorating the house, and I just got to go here and move these there. It looks like a simple drop and deliver game.
Yeah.
But it is not simple at all. Now, understanding the concept of the game is very simple, but to do well in this game is not simple at all.
I think we were maybe a quarter of the way through the game, and we were like, yeah, we got this. And then we didn't. We lost.
I was very confident in the playthrough video.
Yeah.
The whole entire time I'm thinking, we got this. We're going to do good. And then about 3/4 of the way into it, I'm thinking, oh, wait, maybe we're not going to do this. And then we get to the very end, and it's like, we need a miracle if we're going to even get close. And we got a miracle, but we still fell short.
Yeah.
So, such a cool experience with this game. Every game that I have played of this comes down to the wire. Now, I will say that there are times when it really feels like we've got this in the bag, and then something happens and we don't, or vice versa. We feel like we're doomed, and then something happens and we're back in it. I just love that never really knowing how things are going to go until the very end.
A lot of big theme games are kind of a one and done, but this one, because it comes down to the wire every time, you just don't. It's a good replayability.
Super exciting finish with this one. Very thematic. Everything about this game is Christmas. The mechanics of this game work very well with the theme. I mean, it's pick up and deliver, decorating the house. That makes sense.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic game.
I think it'll be part of our Christmas.
I was just about to say that. I think this could be a Christmas tradition, quite honestly.
And it was great for the kids. Our 7-year-old and did a 3-year-old. Yeah.
Not our 3-year-old, but our 7-year-old and our 9-year-old.
But I think our 3-year-old watched us a little bit, and I think he would be old enough to play it soon, or at least cooperate in playing. But the kids loved it. They absolutely love this game, but it can definitely be played with just adults as well.
Absolutely. That is Deck the Halls, guys. I can't recommend it enough. It's one of the best Christmas games I've ever played, which I know there's not a ton of Christmas games out there, but man, the ones that I have played, they're just okay.
It's a pasted on.
This is above and beyond any Christmas game I've ever played. So this is fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. If you want something out there to play with your family on a Christmas Eve night, Christmas Day, when you've got
July,
or in the middle of July, August, Christmas in July, this game just works. So. Recommend playing with non-gamers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that it's a cooperative game always gets higher marks for non-gamers just because they don't feel like they're in it on their own. The theme is fun. It's enjoyable. The strategy is fantastic. So I think this is an excellent game to play with non-gamers, but I think you could play with gamers as well. It's a good, lighthearted game.
Absolutely. A lot of fun with this one.
Yeah.
So. That is Deck the Halls from Abbanuach Games. Check it out on Kickstarter.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.